All right, I just want to make a relatively quick video to show you what to look out for when you buy a car. Now, I use classic cars in TV and movies, so it really doesn't matter as long as the car looks decent from 20 or 30 feet away. I don't have to worry about too much. Car looks relatively decent. Tires look relatively good, and it drove here. You know, for $1,000, I can't go wrong. Transmission was rebuilt. But did I buy a car that has 61,000 miles? Or is it 161,000 miles? Now, I bought this off a friend who was emphatic. It has 61,000 miles. He bought it off a pastor. I'm like, just because he was a pastor doesn't mean he didn't drive. And I didn't get into it because I really know cars. I've been doing this 35 years, and I didn't care. It had a rebuilt tranny in it, and that's true. I just verified it. I'll show you in the video. But, 1990 Mercury Grand Marquis, it's exactly what I need for what I'm doing, and it was the right price, okay? But here's what you look out for a car with 60,000 miles is not going to have these problems, okay, or changes within the car. Number one, kind of looks like the alternator was done. This does not look original, but the belts are definitely done. A lot of times you'll see the original belts. Also, the hoses were done. Not only that, radiator was done. This is all aftermarket stuff, okay? These wires, hard to tell. They might be original. Car kind of needs a tune-up. Usually there'll be numbers, the individual numbers for each cylinder, which might be here because nobody ever wants to do a tune-up on these Fords because they're a pain. There was one valve cover gasket in the trunk, meaning they probably didn't do that one. Like that one you can kind of do. Going on this side, battery cables are very old. I had to put a brand new battery in it. That's not terrible, but somebody converted the AC. Why wouldn't the AC be working? And why would this be all green dye over here? And then when you go here, that label right there, which has a bunch of dye on it, it says SMP after the part number, and I believe that's Standard Motor Products. I didn't know they made AC compressors, but either it's the original one and it is, a problem with it, or it's an aftermarket one. But this hose does not seem, stock. It looks like they try to fix the AC, and he was telling me the AC blows ice cold. And I asked him, did he get a charge? He didn't answer me. So he just said, oh, sorry, but I think he got a charge and it was cold and he thought it was good. But you're never supposed to charge these things, When you look under the car, I'll show you. So looking under the car, you see no catalytic converter shields, which means they were probably rattling and they took it off. Clamp here. It does leak in the front. Even though that pipe looks rusty, I could see there's labels in the back. So the exhaust was done, and yet it's starting to rust. So that wouldn't have happened. Like the car would be virtually untouched. So you can kind of see the paint on the transmission. But you can kind of see like rear main seal leaks, additional oil leaks probably. What else? And it's probably 20 things that I probably just said right there, or it'll be 20 in total by the time I'm done. Look at this. So the exhaust sorry, I hit the button. So this guy here was disconnected, put a screw in it, and the hose right there, the metal line that goes down to the catalytic converter was cut. I don't know if that's leaking. I don't think it would. Maybe it's just the air pump making that noise. Air pump's still hooked up down there. We went over hoses and belts, and like I said, that kind of emission stuff would not be disconnected. I don't think the AC would be a problem even. It's missing the fuel pressure cap, okay? All this stuff is discolored, okay? The wipers don't go into the parked position. They just kind of stick up over the top there. Tires are from 2016, and to think that this car wasn't driven 8 years ago at some degree, and it needed was those his first set of tires on the car? And it's kind of hard to believe. The gas gauge didn't really work until much later on after I filled it. That was kind of weird. And not to mention, before I started, look at this. tape on this. All the chrome is off all these buttons. That's not a sign of a car that has low mileage. It would always kind of be a lot cleaner. Dashboard, huge crack in it. Buttons on the climate control, they're all wobbly and stuff like that. Said exhaust leak, the belt squeaks. But if you come in the back here, don't know if you can hear it on camera, but, and it's funny because, oh yeah, I don't know if you get, but you can hear the fuel pump whining pretty fucking loud. So that means that it's 160,000, because the 60,000 mile pump, it's just not going to make that loud buzzing noise. Let me try to see, let the idle come down. I hope it comes out on the audio. Okay, so hopefully that got documented, but trust me, it's making noise, and it's something to look out for. Gas cap. You think, well, what could be wrong with the gas cap? Okay, look, it has a Huya on this, and this is an aftermarket one. 60,000 miles. There's rust inside there. How is that possible, even? You know, I don't know if it's just spoiled gas or rust, but you know, it seems like rust. But it's like, how is this all possible? And the car looks like it's been, if the car wasn't painted, the vinyl roof was painted, at least over here, or they oversprayed onto it without caring. Like this is overspray. This is not. You know, it's definitely been painted right here. You know, and when I wash, it's going to be, you know, cleaned up, whatever. But look carefully at the seats. They're almost like a green. They've been faded so much. You know, there's a steering wheel cover. Why would they be a steering wheel cover with 60,000 miles? So, and it runs good. Like I said, it runs good despite, it gets a little funny here and there. And I drove home in the rain the other day, so that's why it was, you know, concerning with the tune-up. And it was probably just never done, or it was done and these wires, I don't think these wires are routed so nicely, you know? So it's probably done. I can't see the, it says 8mm, E5505. It might be original, but you see a zip tie here? Chances are somebody did them once. They would be original wires if it was 60,000 miles. It just wouldn't be a thing, you know? The air bonnet right here, all this cracking and dried shit. Look, aftermarket power steering pump. It's great that these parts have been changed, but just like I said, the guy was emphatic that it was original mileage and he got it from a pastor. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but it's probably not the case. But I didn't care, you know. Car runs good. That's all I need to know. But look, power steering hose it's seeping, you know, and it has a lot of dirt on it. There's too much rust on the chassis and stuff like that. There's too many little things wrong with the car when it comes to that. And like I said, not complaining. I got what I paid for, $1,000, you know. So when you're buying a car, these are things you should look out for. All the stuff that I mentioned, like even the fact that the VIN number is covered by crap. How it got in there, I don't know. You know, I don't know if it's a dead moth or what, or just a leaf that got in there. You know, but ultimately you would not see the stuff. You know, it just wouldn't be like this. You know. So also, like even when you open the trunk, there's a whole bunch of you know, like with screws in here. Now, granted, somebody can get into a fender bender and they use a screw to put it in. But you know, if the car had 60,000 miles, it would be really nice shape, and then you would want to get it done professionally, perhaps. Oh, look at this! I got something blinking here. Oh, airbag. So that actually goes away, but now it's staying on longer. There's a trunk button. Let's open the trunk. And, you know, missing that. They said it was in the trunk. Some of this carpeting looks okay, but it's been moved. It's been, like, there's no reason to take this off when the car is relatively new. That looks like a leak. You know, this shit's been ripped down. It's just not well kept. And how can you after 160,000 miles, you know? So it really, you know, just be careful when you buy something. Just make sure nobody gives you, you know, any kind of BS when it comes to that kind of stuff. But like I said, it depends on the price, you know. I wasn't beating the guy up at all. Yeah, I could see some rust coming through the paint, but it's dark blue. It's exactly what I need like this, you know. But somebody totally painted over the whole vinyl roof, which may or may not be good or bad, but the vinyl roof is not so great on the top. but it is what it is, you know. And it runs good though. It, you know, because it had those parts changed, it was relatively, you know, well maintained until they didn't want to maintain it anymore. Like this guy bought it with 60,000 on the thing. I don't think he put much more than 1,000 miles, and he put the tranny in. And he said the cable was not misadjusted, and he goes, "That's they told him that's why the transmission went, because the cable was misadjusted." I said, "Well, there's a rubber bushing on it. You know, you got this guy loose, but the cable here, if it needs to be tightened, it shouldn't be off, you know." And there's bushings that go bad on that thing, so that happens at 160. I also know the Ford AOD, without a shadow of a doubt, it pretty much gives up at 160,000 miles. So it's really consistent with what I experienced as a mechanic for the last 35 years. And I'm not even a Ford, you know, guy, you know. So you've seen so many of these cars, this is what you end up going with. So and you learn about, you know, what the common problems are. So, like I said, I'm not upset. I don't know what there's an exhaust leak in the front here somewhere, and it's kind of loud. It looks like it's coming from these, where the what do you call it, right there, like where the one thing meets the other. I see a little stain there. I don't know if it's from this car or not. Looking at the back of the drive shaft there, you know. And listen, if the cable was bad, that's all it was, and somebody else rebuilt the tranny, then they ripped them off. I mean, it looks like a rebuilt tranny, but who knows? Maybe it was done 20,000 miles ago, and there's nothing really wrong with it. And yeah, the cable was off, but it didn't blow the tranny. It doesn't quite shift 100% right either, you know. It seems like the cable is still loose because it doesn't give that, you know, like partial throttle, you know, downshift. Like you got to always kind of give it more gas to downshift it. But truthfully, I'd rather get rid of these catalytic converters because you never know. But it's not running bad, and it's not giving check engine lights. I believe the check engine light works. That's another thing you want to watch out for. That should never be. I'm not hearing a lot of noise from the air pump, so that's a good thing. There's no air coming out of that. But look, the bushing, the front end bushings are shot. Now, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even quite feel it, you know. I didn't even recognize how much play was in the wheel. Like the car drove like a big comfy couch, but you know, steering wheel was a little off, but right there, that's not going to go bad in 60,000 miles. I mean, that's probably 20 things at least that I listed. So you got the gas tank, you know, the fuel pump making noise. You got the buttons inside, the cracked dashboard, the gas cap, the exhaust system, and oh yeah, just go back to the exhaust. If it's 60,000 miles, why would there be this exhaust label on the exhaust? That's an aftermarket number on there, probably. You know, the original one wouldn't have that. I'm not sure about this gas pump, but the gas tank itself also, like, it's kind of rusty. Kind of would rather change the whole thing. I did order a fuel pump because I know it's going to go, but I'll keep driving it until then, or when I get a chance to fix it. So where was I? Exhaust and then the AC hoses. Just the fact that it was converted, the elimination of the air pump stuff, the fact that the wires were changed, the cable was out of adjustment, the wipers don't go to a full park position, the hoses and the radiator were done. What do you call it? These things have been taped and they look kind of frail here. You know, over tightened over time. That just shows it had several batteries in it over the years. It just wouldn't be that bad a shape. Look, you got a wire here, snagged on to the master cylinder, holding something up down there. Actually, it don't look like it's holding anything up. It's just going in a circle. So maybe it was holding something else. You talk about a lot of little problems, and the valve covers leak, and they fix one valve cover but not the other. It's, you know, the power steering pump's been done. It needs a hose. You just don't see this with 60,000 miles. You know, I mean, it doesn't have as much stuff. There's less wear and tear under the hood of this 51 Cadillac. You know, to be 100% honest. So it's just, you know, people's perspectives always get thrown off. As soon as they see 61,000 miles, they think that's what it is. And the first thing I'm like, no, it's probably flipped over. And he's emphatic. Like, when to go, after I paid him, I picked to pick it up a week later. He was like, this car documented 61,000. Just because it's documented doesn't mean anything. Just because everybody had, you know, like the guy gets the title and his name, who knows if he's original owner or not. But, you know, when he got the title, it said 60,000 on it. Just because you document it on the title doesn't mean anything. It's very possible you start Carfaxing stuff, because that gives you a little more information, but it's not always, you know, truthful, because not every shop in every state requires them to record certain things like mileage every time it comes in for inspection. There is no inspections in New Jersey right now, I think, for these older cars. I don't know exactly how it works in Jersey, but I did buy it from there. I mean, it's not a piece of junk, but it has a lot of things, a lot of little things wrong. Completely doable just to drive it the way it is for now. It's you know, it's $1,000 car, you know, and he could have got more money for it probably. He just knew me and he was trying to do me a favor, and he says, you know, just for you, because I know, because here's the thing, he damn well knows probably something's wrong with it and people are going to pick it apart and maybe come down to $1,000 anyway. It's worth it for the parts alone, the engine, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I think that if the water pump ever needs to be done, if it hasn't been done already, I mean, if it has been done, which kind of looks like it has been, but it's hard to say 100%. It's like the engine is too dirty. It looks like the thermostat was done. You can see the blue gasket behind the thermostat. Again, all this shit, like they disconnected a vacuum line over here. What's that for? You know, this just would not be touched. You know, the coil wire is missing the plastic thing. Jesus, there's a lot of little things. The fact that the heater hoses were changed. This is a red heater. This doesn't come factory with it, you know. And they made it too short, and they tucked it under here, and they bent it a little sharp right here, and it almost feels like it's ready to break through there. So there's just, you got to watch out when you buy a car. And the thing is that there's a lot of people who will fix up a car. Anytime somebody goes, oh yeah, but he doesn't have it in his name. See, at least this guy had it in his name. He drove for a little while. He did put money into it. But you got to watch out. There's these foreigners that start selling cars on the side, and you know, then you look on their Facebook profile, let's say, and then you see they sold a bunch of cars. So you got to go on, you know, the seller, you know, the seller's history and see what else they've sold. If they sold a bunch of cars, don't buy a car from them, because they're buying it for $1,000 and fixing it up. I could probably detail this car, get all these little things and get the little things taken care of, and just say, yeah, it was 60,000 miles, so we got a new radiator. Because be surprised, if I pressure wash all this stuff, it'll come a lot cleaner. I could put a new AC compressor and say, yeah, the AC compressor was no good. And you say, yeah, it's a little weird that it would go in 60,000 miles. But like, oh yeah, I want to do it right when I did a conversion. Like, if you're a mechanic, you can kind of tell them a whole bunch of stories about, you know, about the parts that you're changing, and just say, yeah, I wanted to do it. Yeah, the exhaust is rusted and it was replaced because it was sitting on grass. The husband died, and the wife didn't want to get rid of the car right away, and then she finally did. And this looks like, see the label on it? AC line hoses changed. I mean, obviously they tried to fix the AC. It looks like they put a new compressor and new lines, but it still leaked. So I don't know if they reused O-rings that didn't come with the compressor. Like, this might be fine, but I see, you know, streak there, a streak there, a streak there. It's probably going to get another compressor. I would like the AC to work, but you know, I'm going to have to put money into it in order for that to work. So you know, I got what I paid for, you know. So I'm totally not worried, and I'm not fooled, and I wasn't looking to knock him down from $1,000 regardless, you know. So in the end, I have some parts coming. He said the brakes. He said he put new rotors in, but the brakes are warped pretty bad. They shudder. I'm probably going to fix that, but just, I'm curious. I'm going to turn the wheel all the way one way and just see if I can see. It looks like new rotors were done. And let's see. Yeah, that's not a new rotor within the last year or two. You know, it's just not. He said there were new rotors, and this guy doesn't really know, you know, so it's like, what are you going to do? I don't know if that's original. It might be. Not sure if the rears are, but you start looking under here, like I said, the bushing in the control arm, you know, it just does not look like 60,000 miles. Not sure if calipers or hoses were ever done. If they were done, it doesn't have 60,000 miles. If they weren't done, it wouldn't be unheard of, you know. But, you know, it is what it is, you know. So, I don't know, is that, let's see, look, that looks on the transmission line here. Compression fitting, that shouldn't be there, it should be one piece. And I don't know if that's still leaking. The line itself doesn't look wet, but it just looks like the front drain pan plug. It's that weird pan that has two humps on it. But I mean, you can see all this stuff doesn't look like something that has low mileage. The amount of the oil, it just isn't the case, you know. So that's why I actually ordered brand new rotors, because I'm pretty sure that, you know, these could maybe be cut, and they probably cut them and told them they were new. And the thing is that all this Chinese metal does not last. Look at this. I'm going here. You see the plastic is cracked here. Is there even a wire going here? I guess so. Yeah. But it's like, how did that get cracked? You know, maybe there was an accident. Maybe it's because of this rust. Hard to say. You know. But it's a good car nonetheless. As much as I'm saying everything bad, you know. Oh yeah, the insulation here, this doesn't get ripped up in 60,000 miles, you know. There's not enough time, you know. Oh yeah, and I said the seats, have I said 20 things yet? You know, so it's really, you know, these are look, aftermarket mats. Where's the original mats? Are they gone? Sure looks like it. Oh yeah, this was held in by this cover for the fuse box was held in. Oh, and the vacuum doesn't work right, so it doesn't always go up. The when I put it on AC, which didn't work, I couldn't get it to blow. First of all, I think some of the lower speeds weren't working actually. So the idle just went down when I did that. So that works. Okay, it does. You know what the problem is? See, it's kind of coming out now, but when I was driving home, it wasn't coming out at first. I kept playing with the gas pedal, and then it finally started, you know, it finally started to work, you know. But with all that, you know, what do you call it there, the thing, and then now the airbag is blinking back and forth, so that's going to be a problem as well. It needs a clock spring, which is inside here. It didn't do that, but my Ford Taurus does the same thing, or it was like eventually going out, and then it would never go out. And I put the emergency brake on, and it doesn't pop up because it doesn't get enough vacuum, because it's like vacuum controlled. It's supposed to like automatically turn off if you have it on if you start driving, and it doesn't do it. Look, this thing is all torn up over here, you know. I mean, this stuff does not happen in 60,000 miles. Let's face it. Steering wheel cover. I mean, I don't know how messed up this is underneath, but like, what's the purpose of this? Yeah, some people like to put them on, but like, you would see a mint car with everything else with this on. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing is mint about this car, you know. It's not bad, you know, by any means, but, you know, the big crack in the dashboard, the fact that there's discoloration going inside of the rearview mirror, you wouldn't see that either. The headliner actually looks good, but look, I mean, even this is pitted. How can that be? You know, have you ever seen a 60,000 mile car? So, I mean, it is kind of crazy. And with the AC on, it's actually bogging up and down a lot, so I don't know if the AC is trying to turn on, but it also, oh yeah, look at that. It is actually trying to turn on. It's just low. So he probably didn't want to admit that he had it charged. And yeah, it blew ice cold, but it doesn't blow ice cold now because this thing is leaking like a sieve. So does that mean there's potential of it to work? Yeah, absolutely. It just needs a compressor. Looks like it's leaking all over. So I spit on my dashboard. But you know, also tint paper, that's got to go. Can't even see shit at night. It's all blurry on top of that. Yeah, what else? Like that, That looks all weird, like it's been leaking around the window maybe, and who knows, you know, I don't care. But the point is that you're just not going to see this with a low mileage car. You really aren't, you know. And if you're anywhere like the original owner, they're not going to sit there and put tint paper on it. They're just not going to do all this stuff. So I thought I was going to make a quick video. It's got to be damn near 30 minutes between as I had to stop and restart. So yeah, so now I think everybody learned something. You can see, like, look at this, like when the door comes, it's scraping there. It's not right when it comes to that. I didn't even realize. And the hinges aren't even loose. So this car was in an accident, and look, you can see it's in, and the molding is just sticking out here and it's folded in. So somebody just did a quickie job trying to get it fixed, and they threw some paint on it. And you know, it's just the reality of the tri-state area, the New York Minute, even in Jersey, you know, that we all have to deal with. You know, you just don't pay through the ass for things because, you know, you can't keep anything good, you know. All the material is off. The metal band is going through. How many times you got to close the door before this wears out? You know what I mean? It doesn't have 61,000 miles. So now you've learned, and I'm going to keep making videos soon, but I can't do it right now. I just wanted to make this. I thought this would be a very good video for somebody that may want to, you know, use it for their own fuel for looking at a car. But like for this, I'm totally not upset about buying this car. For what I'm using for, it's absolutely perfect. It's good enough for me. And it's that simple, you know. So in the end, I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day, guys.